Today we are going to learn a bit more. My first concept that I want to talk about is distant opposition. Very crazy concept, very complicated as well. So here there are only two kings. The result is a draw. But there is a small task you have to do. The task is you have to reach f8 or h8 with your king as white, while the black king tries to stop you. So either you reach here or here. Is it possible, you think?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes. But can black king reach there?
Black king has to stop. Yeah, black king. Okay, black king will reach first. Black king's task is to stop the white king from reaching these two squares.
White can.
White can reach. What will be your first move that you will play here?
King A2, king A7, king A3, king A6, king A4, king B6, king B4, king C6, king C4.
Okay,
And
but
then
try to think, go further and then try to think what will you do. So you want to reach here. So imagine the king is going to try and stop this king.
After opposition will go to outflank.
After opposition will go to,
Featured corner and then outflank.
okay. So if you look at it, if I play the move here, first move, king b2, because I want to go there. Is that correct?
No.
What should be black's best move?
King B7.
King b7, king b8.
B8, B8.
Why?
Because both the kings are on the dark square.
So when you talk about opposition, this is an opposition, correct?
Yes.
Both the kings are on same color square. You see dark square, and there's only one square in between. When we talk about distant opposition, the same color square, but there will be more squares in between, odd number of 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, and distant opposition, who has the distant opposition here?
Black. Black. Black.
Black. Why? Because black played the king here. Now what happens is distant opposition converts into close opposition or the normal opposition. So let's say when I come here, you come here. Now again I have opposition as black. I come here. So who got the opposition?
Black.
Black. So the distant opposition got converted into normal or close opposition. Okay. Yesterday we were talking about opposition for the side that is trying to win is not very helpful. Correct? He has to outflank or use that. But for the side that is defending, it's super important. So who is defending here?
Black.
Black, because black has to prevent the king from coming here. So when you come here, I do this. Now I come here, you go here. When I go here, where do you go?
D6.
King d6, very good. And now when you get the opposition, it's impossible for the king to break. You go here, I go here. You go here, I go here. So the entire thing is about opposition, right from move number 1. Once you don't get the distant opposition, you will not get the close opposition. Once you don't get the close opposition, black will stop your king. Okay? So here the first move, what is the right move for white?
King A2.
King a2. Now can anyone explain to me why king a2 here?
We take the distance opposition.
Sorry?
White will go to the light square.
Yes, because king a2 is distant opposition on the light squares. You see odd number of squares in between. Of course it has to be if it's the same color, and it's a distant opposition. Okay? Now you will see if I go here, where do you go?
Between King B3.
If I go here, where do you go?
King 6.
You have to go up, right?
C3.
King c4?
C3.
Why king c4 is bad?
Because black will take C6.
Black gets the opposition, correct? So we go king c3, king d7. Black is like, okay, white, you want to keep going here, I will stay here. What are you going to do? So how to make progress now?
After white, black goes king h7, king h3, then king g7.
Because I can't jump here to get the opposition. The moment I go here, he gets the opposition.
No, actually king h4 is possible.
King h4, I get opposition.
King g3, king g3,
King g3, I go king f7.
king f3.
Or I go king h7, wherever. What will you do? How will you make progress?
King f4, king f4, king f4.
What is this?
Outflanking.
Outflanking. Although there is no pawn, we used outflanking because we want to reach our goal here. So suddenly we are threatening to go here. He comes here. What do we do?
King e5.
Very good. King e5 also not a bad move, I guess, because you have the diagonal opposition. But I would go king g5. Simple.
Good habits.
Okay, this is not a bad move, but I think it'll convert into just the main problem I see is you want to reach here, right? If I come here, king e6, king here, king e7, king g8. You wanted to reach here, you are not able to reach. You come here, I come here. You come here, I go here. The moment you come up, I take opposition. And then you can't reach. So maybe king e5 is not even the right move here.
King g5.
King g5, taking the opposition. If I go here now,
King f6.
again outflanking. If you keep the opposition, doesn't help. You go here. Now I'm threatening to come here. Stops.
King g6.
If he goes here,
King f7.
king f7 and f8. If he goes here,
King h7 and h8.
okay. This is how distant opposition converts into normal opposition, close opposition. Okay. There is one very nice exercise here which I saw in this book. I want to show you. It's about let's see if I can find it. So here, yeah, this is the one. King a1. I need a rook for this one. Yes. It's the same concept but in a different way. White to play and you can only make one move with the rook. You know this?
Ah, yeah.
You can make only one move with the rook. That is the final move. That has to be checkmate. So if you do this here, he does this,
And
it's done. It's done. Like, I mean, the game is over. It's a draw. So you want to push the black king. What do you do?
King a2.
King a2.
Very important.
Same.
King b8.
King b2.
King b2.
King a8.
King c3.
King b3. King b3.
King c3.
Now, if you go king b3, what does black do?
King b7.
King b7.
And now you will never be able to break through because black has the opposition. Look, I come here. Now you can't push him back. You go here, he goes here. You come here, he comes here. You go here, he goes here. And you can only do one check. It's not a mate. So you have to play king a2, king b8, king b2, king a8, and now distant opposition is here. But keeping the opposition doesn't help, right? What do you have to do? Outflank. So now go this side. Now what black says is, okay, if I come here, he will come here closer, keeping the opposition. If I go here, he will come king b3, keeping the opposition. So black goes here. What do you do now?
C4, C4.
King C4.
King C4.
King D4.
No, King C4 and black will take diagonal opposition. King A6.
King D4.
King
King D4.
C4, C4.
King D4.
C4,
king d4, king b6.
C4.
King C4 is the correct.
So let's do king c4. Okay, you continue here, he's here. Now if he comes b6, you go b4. Right? Look at this. If he goes here, what do we do? Very good. King c5. And now king a5, mate. So king b7,
King B5.
king b5, king a7,
King A5.
outflank.
King B6.
You can do this. This would be a mistake, yes? Because he gets the opposition. King c7 and mate. Okay? So here, if we go again, king a2, king b8, king b2, king a8, outflank. King a7, king c4, king a6,
King C5.
king c5, king a7,
King C5.
and then you are just, whenever he's on the a file, you keep moving on the c file. The moment he goes to the b file, you take the opposition.
And if he gets the opposition, that's it.
Yeah, if he gets the opposition, then it's over. But if we keep the opposition, we win. So it's just a way to show to you that distant opposition can be converted into closer opposition. Not that in your game you have to move the rook only once. You can move any number of times. So have you been able to understand distant opposition? We can do one more position so that you have this like so that if someone wakes you up in the middle of the night, you can explain distant opposition. Three, one. Okay, guys. This is a very crazy position. It's white to move and win. Okay, very complicated position. White is going this way, black is coming this way. So natural is, of course,
King F6.
always remember, the first thought that comes to your head generally has to be checked, that what is happening, what will opponent do. So you thought the first move, think what will opponent do.
King F5.
As I said, if you think the first move in your head, think what opponent will do.
B6, king, you can move B6.
Yes. So think. That's why shouting out a move is very detrimental to your chess. It's not always necessary for you to get the answer first, but it's very necessary for you to understand what's happening.
Done.
So one move that was suggested here was king d6. It's the most natural move. You come closer to winning these pawns. But what does black do?
Opposition.
This is also opposition. It's a horizontal opposition. We have been looking at vertical, but this is also opposition. Now you see the problem is, if he goes here, I go here. If he goes here, I go here. Goes here, I go here. It feels like the black king is like that security guard who doesn't let you enter in. किधर भी जाओ, it will stop you. Yeah. You have to be a little tricky. Imagine you want to get in. How will you do it?
King F5.
Why do you say king f5? Like you want to come here, you are going here. Where do you want to go? Here?
No. King F5 then we after black does king A6, we can do king E6 and get the distance opposition.
Horizontally we get the distance.
So here, he's very smart by the way. He's playing king f5 because he's saying that opponent, in order to maintain opposition, has to go here,
But
right? Because it's same color.
But king can't go there.
But king, it's a small problem, yeah, illegal move. Although many people these days make illegal moves. So yesterday only I uploaded one video where Arvind made an illegal move. Did you see? All super GMs are making illegal moves. Actually, it happens one way. Yeah? Super GMs make illegal moves, but all those who make illegal moves don't always become super GMs. So, okay, king a6.
king E5, E6.
E6.
Because now he can go king b6 or king a6. Let's say he goes king b6,
Then king F6.
king f6. Now let's look at king. Sorry,
Why not king e6?
king. Why not king e6? That's a very good question. Why not king? Very good. Black gets the distant opposition. Now, if you come here, I will come here.
Security.
I stopped you. Yes, security guard. If you come here, I stop you. You have to, when you will go here, king f5, king b6. Sorry, where were we going? King b6. If you go king e6, he will go king a6. So where do you go? You keep the opposition. He goes here. What do you do?
King F7. King F7.
Do you want to go to f7?
Outflanking.
Outflanking.
Do you want to go here or do you want to outflank now?
E5. No, we have to go now.
Because if you go here,
You take the diagonal opposition, king C6.
king c7, yeah, he plays. And then you go king e6, king c8, but then you go here,
Then king D7.
and now you are able to get in. Because if he goes down, you pick up the pawn. If he goes here, where do you go?
King C8.
Outflank.
So in the last move also we could take the pawn.
Here, this one. I want to take everything. I don't want this pawn. I want to come from behind and take everything. So let's say, where do you go now? You come here. Now I will win this and this both. Right? So let's try to think, because outflanking is very interesting. Here, if king b6, king f6, king b7, do we outflank now or should we maintain the opposition and then outflank next move? If he goes up, we will go down. If he goes down, we will come up. What do you like?
First opposition and then
First opposition, then out.
Is there any way, let's say here, is there any way in this outflanking that black can hold the position?
Yes.
Because if he goes here, then this is winning. You got the opposition.
King C6.
If king, yeah, if this was possible, there is a pawn.
King A6. King A6.
King a6, king e6. I got the opposition. Distant.
King C6, C7. Sorry.
Here king c7. Instead of going here, you go here. Then I go here. Now you don't have this square. Yeah, we saw this. Come here.
King B8.
And this is win. King d8, I take everything, right?
King B8. B8.
King
B8.
the d8.
No, before.
This is the position, right? We went king, he went here, we went king e5. Now you want king?
B8. No.
So we started with here. We went king. Where was the king?
E5.
E5. We went king f5. He went king b6. We went king f6, king b7, and now we came here, which I think is winning.
But now what if after king comes on e5 then king d8?
Sorry. We can also do this, by the way. Keeping here, and when he comes to b6, we can now go king e8, outflanking from behind. So now if king b7, there is king d7. If king c7, we go king e7. If he goes king a7, where do we go? King e7. Keeping the distant opposition. If he goes king here, where do we go?
King
King E6.
d8.
See, you can keep opposition. You can keep playing like this all the time. But opposition on its own is not so useful. At the right time, you have to.
Outflank.
And now you have entered from behind. At some point, you start gaining the pawns. So, have you understood what is? Yes.
After this position, is there a statement chance
Where?
for black king when king comes on either a8 or
But
b7?
after, no.
If I am able to do like this is stalemate. Very good point. Very nice. But I will come here, and I will take like this, and you will never be able to get a stalemate. It's a good point you said. Okay, so that kind of sums up distant opposition. It can happen vertically, it can happen horizontally
Diagonally.
and diagonally, but the idea is to get close after that. Okay, let's look at another very nice example. This is my favorite example. No one understands it easily. Hi, why are you late?
No, he's not late.
Why are you not late? This is white to play and win. Yeah, don't answer.
Thief. There is a thief.
Yeah. Let's try to see if people can.
अच्छा किसी और का
अभी
हॉटस्पॉट
हाँ, आप डाल सकते हो तो देखो.
मैं अपना ही हॉटस्पॉट चालू कर देता हूँ
नहीं ठीक है फिर.
अच्छा चलेगा ये
हाँ चलेगा. Guys, it's white to play and win. ठीक है. So now the problem here for white, it's very nice position. You can push the pawn, correct? He takes, you go king c5, and black has to give up the control of the pawn, correct? So black goes
King d8.
King d8.
King d8. D8.
d8,
Yes.
c8. How many d8? How many d8? Half. How many c8? If you go king c8, what will white do?
White takes the pawn with opposition.
Does it matter that white has opposition?
Yes. Because it's not the rook pawn.
And now?
Push. b7. And king c7 and b7.
Queen.
You already had the key square.
So no, this is no key square here. The main thing is once the pawn reaches the 6th rank, we saw until 5th rank, right, yesterday. If it is on the 5th rank, there are 6 key squares. Once there is only a pawn on 6th rank, it is opposition that is important. So if white has the opposition here, white wins. If black has the opposition here, it's a draw. So whoever is to move here is in trouble. If black moves, white wins. If white moves, black draws. So we come to this conclusion that after take, by the way, all those who said king d8, very good, because what you want is to take this pawn with a check. So he goes here. What do you do now? King C8.
We push the pawn.
Push the pawn.
Push our own pawn.
C5.
B7.
D7.
B7. Wins.
Yeah.
So King D8 also loses. So is this position winning or what? White wins? Yes? White wins. So the first move here is C6, correct?
After C6, king goes to C8.
What is this? Here?
Yes.
Crazy move.
Take D6.
King D6.
Now king D8.
King
D8.
D8, then I take here and queen.
King B8.
King B8. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's mate.
Check.
C draw check. A8 and C8 queen is a mate.
Of course I won't go here.
That's draw. So I have
Of course now white goes here, and where does black go?
to. No, that's still it's a draw.
Go stalemate. So I go here.
King
C5.
D7.
C5.
King
C5.
D7.
No, I'm telling white king.
Draw. What an unfortunate position, yeah?
There's
Yes?
another theme.
It's a draw, right? You got a win?
Yes, we can win with
So D5, C6 check, takes here, King C5.
we don't have to take.
Sorry?
We don't have to take.
Yes. So C8. Sorry, taking is bad, so I go here. Now King D6, King B8.
C5 is
And
the
if I
draw.
go here,
C6.
here, threatening to queen.
But we take C6.
Now take,
King takes and king C8.
and black gets the opposition.
King A8 was drawn.
King A8 was a tricky move, yeah? This is a very interesting position. King A8 should be a draw only if white makes a mistake here.
C6.
What should be a good move for white? If white takes, it pushes the pawn, draw. But white can win.
King D8.
King C8.
King C8.
King C6.
King C,
C8.
King C8 or King C7 is game over. Because you must take
D6.
queen and mate.
So
King D8 or D6.
So C4 is draw.
So push, king here, king here, king here, king here, I just take. And it's a draw.
Yes.
Let's think carefully here. Don't reveal the answer, okay? Let's try so that they can learn. Everyone, if you say the answer, no one will learn. Okay? You can also learn. You can think now instead of remembering, try to understand. Sorry?
I understand the theme.
King D8, E8, but it's white to play here. Okay, takes here. King C5, where to go? King E8, but king is too far. Then I queen the pawn. So, firstly, white has to calculate this very tough line and understand he is not winning. So here is a concept that today you will learn, which is called as triangulation. But before that, you must know something called as Zugzwang. Zugzwang is a very, very difficult concept to understand because the word is very difficult. Like the word is difficult, but otherwise the concept is easy. You know what Zugzwang is?
Yes.
It means whoever is to move is at a disadvantage. Okay? जिसका भी move है उसका position खराब होगा. Whoever is to move is at a disadvantage, will either lose material or lose the game.
So this position is draw only.
No.
This we have to try to find. Now, if think of this position as black to play, okay, instead of white to play, if it was black's move, what would black do?
He would.
Resign.
Yes, nah, because if he goes back, white takes the position. If he goes on c8,
King
white takes
C8
king
would have been
e6.
tried. King C8.
King C8.
So king c8. Where does white go?
Diagonal of the black.
King B8. B8. B8.
King b8.
King D7.
King here. King here.
c6.
C8.
c8, how?
c6. Pawn takes pawn.
King c7.
King to c7, and I win. So if we think about this position a little more carefully, if it was black to move, king e7 is also losing because of,
c6.
now this wins. If you take, I take and I queen the pawn. If you don't take, then I take and win the game. So you can't go here, you can't go here. You try to go here, what does white do?
D6 and opposition.
Now c6. Do you want to play c6?
Yes.
Yes.
C6 takes.
What if c6, king b8,
King c6, king d8, king d7,
C7.
king d7, I take,
C7
king
check.
d7, I
c7, king c8. We know this is a draw. So look, c6, king here,
then king d7.
D7.
king d7, I take.
King d.
If c7, then it's a draw. This is a drawn position. Instead of c6. Yes. Very important here. After king d8, king d6, king c8,
E7.
push him inside. And now
c6.
wins. Yes.
Can you go on the last position?
Here.
The first position. Sir, after in this position, if we do king d4, then
This is.
We will look at it.
so king d4, king c6, then king c4, and then वापस king d7, and then king d5, and then forced to go king d7.
So, one thing, did you understand? If
Triangulation.
white to play here, then it's a problem. But if it is black to play, white wins easily. So, if we can lose a move, if we can say in chess pass, I don't want to make a move. आप खेलो, मुझे खेलना ही नहीं. I don't want to play only. Unfortunately, it's not allowed. Which is the reason why the concept of Zugzwang comes in chess. If there was an ability to pass the move, Zugzwang would never come. Like imagine a situation like this.
And black to play.
White to play, okay? White is saying, if I make a move, I will lose the game. Black is saying, if I make a move, I will lose the game.
They want
So
to
white
pass,
says
pass, pass, pass.
pass. Black says, okay, I will also pass. It's a draw. But in chess, passing is not allowed, which is why this is a position of Zugzwang. In fact, there is a very complicated term which is called reciprocal Zugzwang, which means दोनों side Zugzwang में. If it is white to move, white loses. If it is black to move, black loses. This is a position of reciprocal Zugzwang. Okay? So here Zugzwang there are some beautiful games of Zugzwang which you can see happens even in middle game. You tie your opponent so much that any move that he makes, he loses. It happens rarely though, but in end game, it happens all the time. It's one of the most powerful weapons if you want to be a good end game player. So here, like Magnus, you know, he has this very famous quote which says, "I don't believe in fortresses." Have you heard of this?
Yes.
He has said this. And he says the way to break fortresses is through Zugzwang. Zugzwang means you put your opponent in a position where he has to make a move and it's problem. Okay. So, here the very good idea, by the way, suggested by, did you think of it here on your own or you knew it?
King d4, then obviously he should go king c6 and then king c4.
King d4,
King e6.
he can come king e6,
King e4.
king e4, king d7, king d5. We got the position with black to play. Same way, we could do like king e5, also a nice move. The problem for black is he could keep opposition, but he cannot. Why?
So c6.
c6.
c6 is
Take and queens. So, has to play king c6,
and king c4.
king d4, king d5. Okay, let's say in this position after king e5,
We can do the
King-
same with king c4.
sorry,
We can do the same with king c4.
king c4,
Yeah.
But no, then king c6.
king c6, but then I can go king d4,
King d5.
king b5, then king d5. And I win.
So white is winning.
So king e5, king c8. If you go king d6, I go king d8.
King e6.
If king e6, I go king b8. Does this work? King d7, king a8, c6. Very good. And king b8 queens. Takes king c7. So the main point here is king here. Let's say for example he goes here, then we have this. He has to go here, we go here, and we kind of make a triangle.
Same happens with king d4, right?
Yeah, I think so. King d4 also we should win. The idea is
King d4.
to lose a move. It's very interesting. You want to lose a move.
Sir, what about king d8?
King
d8.
d8. That's a good move. Because I can't jump here now. But I do this.
King c8.
So if you come here, we know that this is winning for white.
King c8.
But after
King
d8,
c8.
can you get king e5?
Sorry?
King d8, king e5.
King d8, king e5.
Because king e7, c6 wins.
King e7, then c6 wins. And if king d7, king d5 wins. And if king c8, we can do king e6.
Yeah.
Also wins. The idea is to lose a move. Yeah. And what white is doing is he's using these squares to lose a move. 1, 2, 3. It's called triangulation because he's moving in a triangle to lose a move. Okay? So that is a concept of basically Zugzwang and triangulation. Let's look at this position. Another nice one. Who wins here? White to play.
white.
Draw.
Like
Sorry?
We draw.
Draw.
win. Win.
White wins.
Then white wins.
White
I
wins.
know this.
White win.
Does white win here?
Yes.
How?
White wins.
How does white win?
King C3. King C3.
I'm very surprised that you guys say that white wins.
Is black winning because
Black
king
wins.
comes to pawn. King comes to the black pawn. White black's king is going to near the c4 king d6.
This is a position of Zugzwang. Also, you realize that once this position is reached, whoever will move will lose the pawn, right? So jumping here, this is known as a mined square. Do you know, like there in wars, there are these landmines. You step on it and they blast. So in this position, this square and this square, these two are mined squares.
It's a draw.
No, it's win.
No, black winning.
White to win.
Whoever steps first
It's draw.
gets blown away.
It's win. It's win.
The funny thing is,
White wins. White
The-
to play, white wins.
White to play, white wins.
what should white play?
King c3.
King C3.
King c3. So you are not stepping on the landmine.
We will step, but after losing only.
After he steps, so the first to step is in trouble. Correct? White wins now, right? Everyone agrees?
Yes.
All of you agree?
Yes.
Agreed?
Agreed.
Agreed?
Agreed.
King c3 king d7.
King c3, king b7. But you said agreed, white wins.
No, I said draw.
Draw. He is going here, guys. He is saying when you go king c3, I don't want to step on the landmine, I am going king b7.
King B3.
Now all those who said white wins, please win.
King B3. King A4.
Both are tiptoeing around. King a4.
Oh, that's also landmine. That is also landmine.
You are very close to losing. Is this lost?
No.
I'm actually very surprised that you guys thought this is losing. Look at this, okay? Firstly, these two are mined squares. So white goes here, black goes here, white goes here, black goes here. It's a draw. Both keep waiting. No one steps on it first. But even if I step on it and he comes here, what is this position?
King C3.
We saw it yesterday.
King C3.
When the pawn is here on c5, what are the key squares?
B3, C3, D3.
b3, c3, d3. Do you think
King B3.
that black king will be able to reach here any of the squares? So anyway, it's a draw. So white winning was out of question, even if you lose the pawn. But the point to note here is that this is a situation of mined square. So you can move here, move here, move here, move here. Okay? Let's look at one more. This time it makes a lot bigger difference. White to play.
White. Yeah, now white is winning.
Now white wins?
Yes.
How? What are the mined squares? Can you tell me?
E6 and E4.
E6 and C5. Very good.
So white wins.
So whoever steps on the mined square first is in trouble. So what should white do here?
F6.
Very good. So you are waiting for black to step on the mined square, then you will come. So black also say, I'm very smart, I will not step.
King E7. King E7.
Very good. King E7. Attacking the pawn first, forcing the opponent to come on the
Landmine.
mind square, and now,
King E6.
and this is a position of Zugzwang. Also you can say it's a position of reciprocal Zugzwang. How do you know if it is a reciprocal Zugzwang? Because if it was white to move, white is in trouble. If it is black to move, black is in trouble. So it's both ways. But here it is black to move. So black has to move away and then you win. Okay. Let's put the same position here. What is, now I want you to think carefully and tell me what is the result of this game. It's white to move.
Draw.
White to move.
White win.
White wins. White wins.
Draw.
White wins. Draw.
No,
Draw.
white wins.
White wins.
White wins. White wins.
Anyone else wants to try?
White wins.
White wins.
White wins.
White wins.
White wins.
White wins.
Maybe a draw.
Draw. How many draws here? 1, 2, 3, 4. Anyone draw? Che? Draw. 5, 6. And white wins. बस इतने ही. I thought everyone black wins है इधर. किसी को anyone thinks black wins? नहीं.
White wins. Draw. White wins.
Bet your money on that.
How much?
500.
He wants to make money here.
Win.
So all those who said that it's a draw, draw 1. And those anyone who thinks very confidently that it's winning can show me the variation. You are very confident of the win. Can you show?
King F5, King B4.
King F5,
King B4.
King B4. Because we know that if he comes here, it's a mind square.
Yes.
And white wins.
What if black not comes there?
Black comes here, then
E6.
King E6. We don't step on the mind square. He has to defend
King E5.
and wins. He's right. Why did you say draw?
King
No, sir.
C6.
Give me your money.
No, sir. I
Wait,
will
wait.
ask my fishy.
You know there is this twist in the movie.
Yes.
So let's see if there is any twist in the movie. So this is here. You went here. Our friend here says King C6. You have to refute this line also.
King E6.
King E6. Very good.
King C7.
King C7. What is he doing?
King E5.
King E5. Ah,
King C6 again.
King C6.
King E5.
Very smart. Yeah, you wanted me to go here and then take the pawn.
King E6. No, we could take.
Okay, King C7, right? He
Now
went.
takes.
Now takes.
King
King
D7.
D7.
King C5.
What is this position?
Opposition.
Draw.
Draw?
Draw.
That is why
So that's
you
why-
the dummy.
So the thing is, the problem here is
That it's a draw and
it's a draw. The reason, very good. The reason why this is a draw is because of the rules we learned yesterday. Right? Key squares. Even if you win this pawn, the key squares of these pawns are C6, D6, E6, and if we can get our king here, it's a draw.
King can't go on the key squares.
But now you understand why this position, the defense doesn't work. The same position here,
Because the pawn is on D5.
if you win this pawn, you are already on the key square. right? Because this pawn has 6 key squares. This was all yesterday. All those who missed yesterday can go to YouTube and check. I have put a video, so you can revise. Okay. So here it's winning, but if we put it here, it's the same position. It's very similar, just that black should not be ambitious and come down, but should be safe and try to take the opposition and draw. And then of course we all know this. Actually it was very funny. We did this session yesterday, and today I was playing online and I reached this position. Actually I couldn't believe. Let me see if I can recollect. It was here. Something like this. My rook was here and the opponent played the move this. Should I take the rook or not? No.
Rook h7.
No, he says don't take.
Take the.
Take the rook. I think what you both have, like, if you both combine yourselves, you will become very strong. Because you both contradict each other. One of you is always right.
Don't take.
Don't take.
Taking the rook is a draw.
Huh?
Taking. Okay, if it's a draw, then I should be happy, right? I'm pawn down, I'm black.
Yeah. Taking rook is a draw.
Should I take?
H7.
No? No?
No. Rook h7.
Rook h7. I should go here. Okay, maybe that's also a draw. But if I could take the rook and draw, I would be very happy, right? King and pawn endgame, it's clean.
But if you take, how will the king stop the f
And next
pawn?
one is greedy.
Oh, sorry, this is, oh, I made a mistake. Actually, I was black, right? So this pawn is going here. I should have put it this way, sorry. Like this. The pawn is going like this.
Now it's a draw.
No, now it's also because white can take the opposition. Na?
Yeah, you can take the rook.
I can take now?
Yeah.
No.
See, you take the rook.
Taking
You
the
take.
rook is a
If
draw.
pawn takes, then king will be behind the pawn and.
So firstly, if he takes with the pawn, where are the key squares?
All
c5, d5, d5.
So it's very easy to draw this position. You can never reach here. It's a draw.
It's a draw.
But if he takes with the king, this is the most dangerous line. Where do you go as black? Very good. Taking the opposition. And now you want to reach here. You want to reach these 3 squares. But I won't allow you. It's interesting. Actually, I've seen this. When you study something, it many times comes in your games. I don't know. It's like you study sometimes rook, bishop versus rook. And then next tournament it comes. For all these years it has not come. I think the reason for that sometimes because we have studied it, we are more open to go in such positions. So sometimes it comes. It's not like a coincidence. Are you fine?
So, sir, what was the final result?
Draw.
Of course.
Okay, let's look at one very cool position. This I love a lot. This one actually almost all the positions I'm showing I love a lot because that's why I selected them. Sorry?
Hikaru loses to a kid.
Hikaru loses to a kid. Yeah, in this title Tuesday, yes. Okay, guys. First question to you. It's white to play. What are the mind squares here? जो अभी अपन ने सीखा ना mind squares. What are the mind squares?
D4.
E6.
It's always in pair. It cannot be just one square. It's a pair of
This
squares.
is white to play.
White to play.
D4 and E6.
D4 and E6.
Sorry?
D4 and
D4 E6.
Very good.
E6.
You understood the concept very well. D4 and E6. Why is it mind square? The side that moves there first is in trouble. Imagine that black comes here, white jumps in, then king has to move back, and then our king goes up, and we are winning that endgame. If white goes up here, then black comes up, and then you are losing this pawn, unless of course you can push the pawn.
When pushing will, black can push F4.
Black will push his own pawn. So let's say king d4, king e6, e4, f4, and black is
What
okay.
if king D3?
Yes. So we come to this position, and now you have to calculate here. Okay, one more thing you have to calculate in your mind is, what if white tries to go for a race this side, tries to win this pawn and queen is pawn? Is black in time?
Yes.
How can you calculate in your head?
He can first pick up the pawn on.
In your head. In your head.
Mine.
Yeah,
Calculation.
yeah, he can.
Calculate in your head.
He's in time. He's in time.
He is in time.
He's in time.
No.
Yes.
He's in time.
Both make queen.
Both make queen and white has this pawn, right? Did you calculate that?
Yes.
So king b4, king here, king b5, king e5, king a4, king e4, b4, king e3, b5, f4.
I won't go for the second one. I would run for C8
You would run for c8 with whom?
with the king.
With this?
I won't pick up the second one.
But if you run for c8, it's only with rook pawn. I also have the knight pawn.
Nine. Don't.
Two pawn.
If you go for c8, like imagine here you go for c8,
Yeah, I missed that.
then it's a bit of a problem. Like king b4, king e5.
No, I missed the knight pawn.
Okay. King b5, king e4, king a4, king e3, b4, f4, b5, f3, b6, f2, b7, queen, and this should be a draw. You have to be a bit careful as black, but I think it's fine. It is the pawn is far behind. Okay, so we come back and we realize that going after the pawn here, not a very smart idea. Okay, so now when you know that these two are mind squares, sorry, this pawn is here. When you know that these two are mind squares, what do both the sides do? They walk around the mind squares. So the first move to consider is
D3.
king d3. What will black think of?
King D7.
King d7, not stepping on the mind square. Then
King D7, King D4,
I would
King D4.
king
E2 maybe.
pawn e4. Okay, she is suggesting pawn e4.
King E2.
King e2 is one move, but pawn e4. f4.
F4. You can just take the F4.
No.
King D8.
King d3, king d3, king d7, e4, f4. King e2 after f4, king e6. It's a tough calculation.
King F3.
King f3, king e5.
King D4.
But
King D3.
then you are losing.
King D3.
Sorry?
King D3.
Yeah, king d3, king d7. Look at this line, by the way. King d3, king d7. Someone said king e2. Doesn't make sense here. Because why? What will black do? King e6, and now you can't come and jump here. So you lose the pawn. So cannot go king e2. King d3, king d7. e4 is the only logical move. Otherwise there is no move. Push. If you take, white wins. So f4. Now she suggested king e2. Again, if you go king d4, king e6, it's a mind squares. So king e2. Now what are the mind squares?
F3 and E6.
F3 and
Swap.
how?
Sir, after this, king e6, then king f3, and then takes and then again.
F3,
Then it's a so what are the mind squares? What is a mind square? Think. Whoever goes on that square first is in trouble. F3 and
F3 and E6.
E6, E5. If you think of F3 and E6, then what will happen is, if I go here, you go here, and I win. So it's not that F3 and E6 are mind squares. F3 and E5. So black to play. By the way, the last move, if you look at this position here, it was E4, F4, king E2. Black comes here. Now if you remember, these two are mind squares. Whoever steps first.
King f2.
So the move here is a very beautiful move.
King f2. Then
Waiting.
takes and then again that thing.
Reciprocal zugzwang. Yes. So here, king takes E5.
King f3. King f3.
And we reach a position of reciprocal zugzwang because whoever is to move loses. It's very beautiful. So this move, so thing is, why is this position beautiful is because in the same position, the set of mind squares changed, right? First it was here, d4 and e6, but when we went a little bit further in the game, it became f3 and e5. Okay, do you understand this concept of mind squares? Is it clear?
Yes.
The concept is whoever steps on it first is in trouble. So you have to identify it well. If you identify wrongly, then it doesn't make any sense. You step on, opponent steps on it first, but nothing happens. There is no blast. Okay. Let's look at a very cool position. In pawn endgames, one of the key things that you have to do is queen your pawn. That's the, if you think of it very simply, it's no rocket science. It's all about queening the pawn. If one side queens the pawn, game is over. White to move. I love how you are able to keep yourself calm in spite of knowing it. It's really tough because many times when you know it, your first instinct is to say out the move. But if you, instead of saying out the move, try to think why it works and try to understand it deeper, it will help you. White to move. Yes? D5.
Yes.
Why?
To stop the king.
Which king?
to make the path
Exactly.
of the black king
Her move
longer.
isn't her move just the most logical A4.
No, the black king is dying.
Calculate. It's not reaching. When after A4 he will get in the
Can we make the square?
No. Yes.
Sir, D5.
This is the square, correct?
now he will get inside.
So now he gets inside the square.
But he will take it on the next move.
And is able to stop the pawn, right? So that's the reason why now the king is inside the square. If we draw the square from here, right, because it's a second rank, yesterday we saw that the square has to be drawn from the third rank because the pawn can move 2 squares. So we draw the square like this. The king is inside the square. But there is this beautiful move d5. I'm threatening to queen, so he must take,
A4.
and now you are in the square. Look at this, you are inside the square, but suddenly now this is the square, and if black could jump on the pawn it would be fine, but unfortunately cannot get in the square. Correct. It happens a lot. This pawn is a traitor. He would have loved to get this out. Then it's a draw. But because the pawn exists, white wins. This is known as a breakthrough. Okay. In endgames, pawn endgames, breakthroughs are very important to win. You must all be knowing a very famous position. If you don't know, then this is a good moment to learn. You know this?
Yes. Yes.
White to play and win. What is the winning move?
B6.
You know this? Yes. It's a very famous position. The thing is, you don't need your king. It wins because of b6, threatening to take here or here. He can take with this pawn.
C6.
Has to take, otherwise I'll take and queen.
A6.
A6. Okay. And b6 take here,
A6.
take here. Luckily the king is outside the square. If I had given the same position to all of you, your pawn break would not have worked because the king is near. You can give such a position next time. Everyone in the class will say white wins because they know the break, but they don't know that, oh, king can come and stop. Black wins. Okay, so let's look at one more position. This is a very famous position, right? I think everyone knows it, but it's very, very worth to understand this carefully. And the one who can explain this to me well, oops, sorry. You know this position?
Yes.
It's called the Reti position. Richard Reti made it. Now you have to explain to me.
I know.
Yeah, very good. I had no doubt. You know much more complex positions. So here, this pawn is queening. Black's pawn is queening here. Yeah. But try to think about this position a little bit deeply. Why I want you to think? I don't want you to remember this position. Okay, it's very easy to remember. But if you understand how this works, think about the beauty of this position. This pawn is queening. Black king is so close. It's inside the box. which means inside the square, which means that this pawn cannot be stopped, can be stopped. This pawn, the king is way outside the square. So in a way, white should be lost totally. What is the only reason why white is able to hold this? Can anyone explain? I don't want the answer. I want you to tell me what is the reason. Sorry? Waiting move. Where waiting move? Waiting move. I wait here. You will say, okay, thank you very much, I'll queen.
We have to means
But it's a draw.
we have to
I
show,
understand.
We have,
See, the thing is,
we have to show
it's
black.
easy to know the position once you see it, but it's very difficult to understand it. Once you understand it, you will be able to solve the next one as well.
We have to show black that we are behind the pawn, but when he pushes the pawn, we go on the other side to support this.
Very good. So this is basically you have your like two aims in the position.
The floating. In this floating, one objective is to protect or to capture.
Correct. It's like how all of you live your life, right? Like you have your academics, you also have your chess. The moment your rating grows here, then you can be like, okay, I'll make my career in chess, or else I'll do my academics. So this king is very much like that. King is like, I have to go after academics, but academics is going away. Suddenly I will become a chess player now. See, it came and now I'll queen.
H1.
So it's like having two.
H1.
What if, sorry, let's look at it again. King G7, H4, King F6. Now it's still outside. So black says, let me take my time and kill your chess dreams.
But I will go on the academics.
Where? King G5,
E5.
it runs away. Your academics is gone, your chess is gone, everything is gone. What do you do now? King E5. You are still keeping hopes of academics and chess. If he takes your chess, you say, okay, I'll come and catch the academics.
We get in the box.
Exactly. If the academics runs away, you say, okay, I'll make my life with chess. Right? So having two aims in the position. Very, very. Yes. Here, H1, C8. Draw. Life is good. So the most important thing in this position is this pawn existed. If this pawn was not there, it would have been lost. So we'll do one more position where you can try and apply this. King here, pawn A5, pawn H7. White to play. White king is here, black pawn is coming here, white pawn is going here. It's a very tough situation for white, because think of it this way. White dreams that he can queen his pawn, make a career in chess. White hopes that he can at least try to catch the academics. But while the academics is running away, this pawn, the king is coming and stopping. It's actually a lost position for white, it seems. But how do you save this? Now think of the reti position and try to find the answer here. Try to decode it. Try to think. See, the natural thing is to say a move. But I have always told you, once a move comes in your head, yes, once a move comes in your head for white, think of the move for black. Then make it a habit. Instead of shouting out the move, think of opponent's move. It will help you immensely.
King C8, King C6, King B8, King B5 and then King C7.
But why will I go to King B5?
It's a loss for
King B7.
white.
No, it's a draw.
King C7.
How?
It's a draw.
The King B7. And then it's a draw.
He7 or
But
C7?
it's a draw.
Try to think.
It's a draw.
Draw? How?
because we
Ah,
are
it's
currently
right, right.
comfortably in the box of that square. So we can push our pawn, and if the king comes to our pawn, then we can run away to his pawn.
Firstly, you are not in the box. Remember, this pawn is a tricky guy because it's on the 7th rank. You have to draw the box from here. This is the box. This is the square. Remember, I told you, whenever the pawn is on 2nd or 7th rank, you have to make the square from the one square above it, because it can move 2 squares. Suddenly your box will become, so like if you think push, push, and now I am in the box because now this is the box. No, you are not. You are outside.
So it's right losing.
Correct. Like you wanted chess, wo bhi gaya, ye bhi gaya. So that's what. You have to be a little bit tricky.
B7 I think draw.
In C8.
Our friend here is able, what's your name? Anai.
White wins.
Anai was able to think a little bit deeper. He said, instead of pushing the pawn, let me threaten to come here and make a queen.
But on king C6.
He comes here,
King B8.
king b8, again threatening a6 because king b6, a7, a8 queen. Only move for black to try for a win is king b5. Otherwise, I am just pushing. And now,
King B7.
a very beautiful move, king b7. Again, like the Reti position, you are going in 2 directions. Your aim is to queen the pawn, but if he takes, suddenly
King C6.
we are back in the square. The square was, this was the square. The king is back.
Direct A6, while A6 was नहीं
If you go a6 directly, let's think about this as well. a6, king c6, king c8. Unfortunately, now after king b6, you don't get this square. You need this square, which is why it's important to start with king c8, king c6, king b8. So he's forced to go here, and now you get this square.
King C7 is not working.
Which one?
King C7.
Yes, king c7. Very good question. Why is it not working?
Because H5.
Because you don't have 2 threats. You are not threatening a6, so I push here. And now you are outside the square. But here when you do, again 2 things.
Chess and academics.
Yes, you are at the perfect place. Okay? I hope that today's session was useful,
Yes.
because there were some advanced concepts that we learnt. One was we learned about distant opposition.
Triangulation.
Triangulation was a little bit, but that mainly was like zugzwang,
Aporic.
reciprocal zugzwang. We learned about mind squares, that there are these pairs of squares in pawn endgames,
And
which,
how do they change in the game?
yes, how they change, and whoever steps first loses.
Sometimes you can step on it.
Sometimes you can step on it as well.
Reti position.
And this, in the end,
Actually, are they
having,
floating squares?
yes, there is some concept called floating squares, but this is not a floating square. Floating square is when there are 2 pawns like this, something like this. It's a very interesting concept. Black king is stopping these 2 pawns. The question is, will white king be able to stop these 2 pawns? This is where the concept of floating square comes. h5, you try to stop that pawn, I go d5. If the square reaches the bottom of the board, it's a win for black. It's a little bit advanced concept, but that's the point. Now if you run here, I push.
And what if the square does not touch the
So if it is this way, then I can actually go here and I can stop the pawn. Because h5, king f5, I think, d5, here. Now I'm threatening to take this d4, king f4, oh,
Black.
maybe this is winning, yeah, the square now reached here. Oh, so maybe here the problem is, okay, so the problem is this position, black cannot push any of the pawns.
Move the king.
Yes, you have to move the king, but if you have no king move, then it's problem. So then it's zugzwang. So here you move the king, and now if I go here,
Reciprocal
no, I can do this. It's a draw. I also wait. You see, both have to wait. If you push the pawn, you will lose it, and then I come back. Why did this happen? Because the pawn was not reaching the bottom of the square. See, 1, 2, 3. So the square is ending here. 1, 2, 3. Right? This is the square.
So now it's 5.
Sorry, 5. 5. My geometry is bad. Okay, it ends here. This square. So I go here. But imagine in this same position, if the pawns were here, now the square reaches the bottom of the board. So let's say I wait. He goes here. I push. He comes here. I push. He takes here. I push. He comes here. I push and I queen.
Just a move.
Just one move, because if it was one more rank, then I could have stopped it.
If there was zero
This,
rank.
yes, exactly. So this is the concept of floating square. The square is floating, but that one is different. So we learned this, how to catch with two aims. You can actually threaten one aim and then get the other done. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you guys for coming, and I hope that these concepts are useful. Again, try to understand them. It's very easy to think, oh, I can remember everything. I can guarantee you 1 year down the line you will forget all of these positions, unless you are him. He remembers somehow. Otherwise you forget. But if you understand it, you can remember, oh, I can make two aims and I can try and capture one, go after there, then I can capture this pawn and so on, like that.
We have to balance them.
Yes. Okay, thank you all for coming, and as I mentioned yesterday, if anyone wants to contribute to Temple of Chess at any point, you are free to do so. There is a donation box. So Temple of Chess runs every day 1 to 8 p.m. I think 1 to 8 p.m. every single day, and there are more than 1,000 books here. You can pick up any book and practice. Come here whenever you like. It's open and free for all. Tell your friends also to use this space. Okay?
So can we play right now or later?
Half an hour is there. You can play if you want.